Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the Escape Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Josh.
Today, we are discussing Home Alone.
Where are you going? We're gonna miss the plane!
When the McAllister family left on their Christmas vacation,
Did we miss the plane? No, you just made it.
they forgot one small thing.
Have yourself
I've a terrible feeling. Did you lock up?
let yourself be light.
Do we set the timers on the lights?
What else could we be forgetting?
Our troubles will be ours.
Kevin!
Home Alone.
Police in the northern suburbs are on the lookout for a pair of burglars who are calling themselves the Wet Bandits.
We know that you're in there.
It's Santa Claus and his elf.
Get off my property.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
Home Alone.
How's it going, Josh?
Oh, just dandy.
Good. Home Alone, the classic Christmas movie from, I believe it's 1990 or 91?
90.
Now I'm drawing a blank. 90?
90. Yep.
Yes. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
Right. But before we defend the house, we want to remind you to head over to our link tree where you can find all the directories.
The directories. Direct me to the directories.
Mm-hmm. A link for links.
Yes. One link to rule them
Yes.
all.
Linktree.com TEP16.
All right. That sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good to me. If it
Doesn't sound good. It
to
sounds
you.
great.
All right, Tony. Now I want some breakfast cereal.
Uh-huh. All right, Dave. Start us off.
So, yeah, Home Alone. This movie is a phenomenon in ways that not a lot of other movies are. I mean,
Do explain.
like, okay, so first of all, like growing up, when this movie came out, I don't know if it was just this movie or if it was just me, but I didn't realize it was a Christmas movie. But I think it might actually have to do with the fact that I was so young when this movie came out that I didn't really get the idea of a Christmas movie. Like, there were
Okay.
just movies to me, and
Okay.
whether or not they took place around Christmas or not was beside the point. They were just all
Hmm.
movies. So I remember, like, growing up, like I would watch this movie, in regular circulation year round with all the
Yeah,
movies that I
yeah.
would watch.
Yeah, I have a
And,
lot of movies like that I did that with too.
even though nowadays when I watch it with my family, it's just a Christmas
Try to
thing,
hold off. Yeah.
typically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I didn't even get the idea. I don't think I even got the idea of a movie being a Christmas movie until I was like much older. And then I started to realize, okay, yeah, now that I get it. There's like some movies that are better watched around Christmas time if it's a Christmas movie. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, this movie was like strange in some ways, like, because I think it was the fact that it was like the big, how can I say this? There's the big, like,
With words would help.
the big scene towards the end of the movie where they're defending the house. It's like that's the big part of the movie that most fans of the movie, fondly think of the most, and like that's like the main event as
The
far
climax?
as the movie goes. Yes, and it's funny because like that one part of the movie is what launched like all these toys and video games and like merchandise, and like there's a whole video game of Home Alone, and I
Yeah.
think there might have been more than one. I just remember specifically there was either for Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis a game of Home Alone, and it was like you're defending a house and there's
Yeah.
traps and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I didn't know about that until like literally this year. A guy at my work was telling me about how he played that game, and like how there's like an episode level where you're like in someone else's house and there's like a ghost or something that comes out.
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't actually own the game. I just played it when I would rent it from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So I barely remember it, but
Okay.
I remember seeing like commercials advertising this video game, and it's just it's kind of a weird thing to think back on, like I think they really obviously leaned into that for the sequel, and there was more I think there might have been more of those types of things going on in the sequel than there was in the first movie.
What types of things?
Just like scenes where something would happen, like Kevin would set a trap, and like not just in the climax of the movie, but like there would be something where Kevin would do something and it would, ensnare the bad guys. Like the scene that comes to mind in the sequel is when they're running through the city, and he grabs a necklace and like throws all the beads on the ground, or the pearls or whatever, and then the guys they run and slip on it. So there's just stuff like that, more spread out. I think they realized, okay, this is the thing that people like the most about it. So, but yeah, it's as far as the original goes, it's also, I would say, one of the top 5 best John Williams scores that was ever made for a movie like this. So it's just a really good score.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too that like the whole traps in the house thing, for me as a kid, this kind of something I tried to do sometimes. Like, I don't know if anyone else
I was
did
going to
this.
ask you about that.
Probably. I mean, I don't know if you did this kind of thing, but I would occasionally set traps on the people in the house that I lived with. Not like in a way that would hurt them, but just ended up being like annoying. Like most of the time I would take like an empty tissue box and fill it with like pencils or something, and set it on like a door that was ajar at the top of the door, and just close the door a little bit so that it would set on top of the door but lean up against the wall, so that whoever entered through the door, it would fall on them, hit their head, pencils would go everywhere, it would scare them. It was always very funny. And eventually I started getting more elaborate with these plans. Like I remember one time I did it so where it wasn't a box filled with something, but it was like a box tethered to like a long piece of yarn, so that when they opened the door, the box would fall, but it would swing to like the left and then swing back and then hit the person in the face.
Wow.
That just entered through the door. So, but that it's not too different than what would normally happen in this house, because growing up, my family and we would scare and prank each other on a regular basis. It was almost like a family pastime. So, did you ever do anything like that?
The closest thing I remember wasn't like, it was kind of in my head, kind of in that vein, but it wasn't like a trap. It was something to like let me know someone came through the door. It was like I had, I think, a pot tied to with a string tied to the handle to the doorknob with like marbles or something in it. So like, when the door like opened, like, well, it would just like drag and make noise. It was just not like
an alarm system,
like a security system. Yeah, but in my head, it was like a way to do something kind of in that vein, but not really like hurt somebody.
Okay.
Now, did you see this movie in theaters?
No. Okay,
I don't remember. Neither did I.
I don't think I did. Maybe I did, but I don't remember. I didn't. I definitely know I saw the sequel in the theater.
Yeah, same here.
I don't remember if I saw this one. I'm thinking no.
So yeah, I saw it the first time I remember. I'm pretty sure seeing this was at the neighbor across the street from where I used to live. And then I know I've told this story 1,000 times, but oh well. So there was this lady that worked with my mom, and her husband would do that thing where you record on a VHS like at a different speed so you can fit more things on it. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what that's actually called, but they would give us VHSs all the time that had like 3 movies on it, just cutting the credits short.
Yeah.
And Home Alone was one of those movies I had in that way.
Okay.
So I used to watch it like all the time, but I used to watch it all year around. I would say the lines with Kevin, like as he said them, like as if I was pretending I was, the kid doing it.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay.
So this is this is directed by Chris Columbus, who later, big with
which we obviously know he discovered America.
discovered America, then he got into filmmaking, and he did, like the first 2 or maybe even 3 Harry Potters, don't quote me on that exact number, but it
Yeah.
was written by John Hughes, whom I'm a pretty decent fan of. And what I find interesting, if you look at the earlier John Hughes films,
Yeah.
most of his stuff started off as kind of it's like comedies about adults being the center, like Mr. Mom.
Okay.
What was the
Oh, is
one?
that a John Hughes film too? Mr. Mom?
Yeah, I believe he wrote it. Vacation. Yeah, there's teenagers there, but like it's mostly featured on the adults. Then he started going more into like teenage related stuff, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
And then you had some movies like The Great Outdoors, which it mostly centers on the adults, but there's also like the whole thing going on with the teenagers. And he would go back a little bit like with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles also featuring on adults, but it was Uncle Buck that had Macaulay Culkin with
Yeah.
John Candy. And that was like, I think the first time he really like started like going toward with like movies centered around like a kid. And it's actually that specific movie that inspired Home Alone. There's a part in the film with Macaulay Culkin where he has to wait for John Candy's girlfriend to come over, whom he's never met. And he's sitting at the door in a chair, and they have like one of those mail slots. And he keeps like sticking his finger like to open it and like look to see if she's there. And he would like shut it and open it, look to see if she's there. And at one point, when he opens it, you see 3 men there, and he gets like scared. And he goes, and he like drops it. And then like he opens it again, and like nobody's there, but it's like supposed to be like his mind's playing tricks on him. I guess they say that scene is like kind of what inspired the idea of, okay, this little kid, home alone, and like strangers, like stranger danger,
Yeah.
But because then after this, I feel like I feel like a lot of his stuff started going more toward like kid movies, because he did like Curly Sue, Dutch, which again is kind of a little bit of both. There's the kid and the adult, but like I don't know, I just think it's funny how he wrote. It seems like a lot of people usually they kind of have stick to one thing.
Yeah.
At least to me. But like, yeah, he centered around adults, centered around teens, centered around kids, and some mix and match. But are you a fan of John Hughes?
I mean, yeah, I've not seen a lot of those movies, but some of those aforementioned movies I've seen. I like them. I like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller. I like. I remember watching Mr. Mom as a kid, and I liked it.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I mean, he's got some good movies.
Yeah. Most people, when they think of John Hughes, I think typically, like for him, the top 3 are for most people are like Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, and 16 Candles. For me,
Never
though,
saw any of those.
Okay, yeah, those are like his main ones. But like for me, I think like I love The Great Outdoors. I like Home Alone. I like Ferris Bueller. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Uncle Buck. To me, like those ones are the better ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Home Alone.
Yeah. So Home Alone. We start off with like this really chaotic, busy house that's just full of people doing who knows what. And it's not so clear at first. It's just like there's a lot going on, and then you start to realize, okay, they're all getting ready to go on vacation. And I mean, and then you hear someone talking about ornaments made out of fish hooks, and that line always made me like cringe. Like the idea of making like ornaments out of fish hooks with like the dried worm guts still stuck to them, and like even if it's a clean fish hook, those things are like
sharp.
Yeah. So just that whole line just fills me with anxiety. Just imagining a Christmas tree with fish hooks on it.
Well, as a kid, obviously I wouldn't notice this, but like I started picking up on a lot of things that they set up early in the movie that pay off later. The whole Chekhov's gun thing. Like if you ever notice, okay, later when he uses the mannequins
Yeah.
to try to fool the robbers to think that he's not home alone,
Yeah.
they establish early on, if you pay attention, like it's like that thing where they just show you things that are happening as opposed to tell you. You see when he's first searching the house, they go into the parents' room, you see there's like a mannequin and you see like a sewing machine
Oh,
and
okay.
different
I
things that
don't
shows the mom apparently makes, I don't know, she's some kind of fashion designer. And then when he goes into the basement too, you also see other mannequins like down there. So it kind of
oh, I don't
establishes,
think I ever noticed that.
yeah, that where he got these things from.
'Cause
Um,
I think that was a question I had and later in the movie, and we'll get to
yeah.
that, but, like,
You
I
see the
was
Michael
wondering, like,
Jordan
where
thing.
these things came from.
Yeah. The Michael Jordan cutout is in Buzz's room.
Huh.
But yeah, there's just a lot of things where they set up things like, the tarantula. They show
Mhm.
very early on there's a tarantula in this house.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's a lot more clever than I realized. Like, okay, he gets in trouble, so he gets put upstairs. So he's kind of
Mhm,
out of sight, out of mind.
mhm.
The power goes out, so now they're late. So they're frantic running around. The night
Mhm.
before, Kevin's ticket gets covered in milk and accidentally gets thrown away with the paper towels. So that's explaining, and it even says Kevin on it. So it's kind of
Hmm.
explained, okay, why didn't they notice the extra ticket? Well, it got thrown away.
Mm.
Why did they not notice him? Well, because they were running around like crazy trying to get ready because they woke up late.
Yeah.
Why did they not miss him with the head count? Because some neighbor kid came over with his back toward them and
Yeah.
she just counted him thinking that was Kevin.
Yeah, yeah.
So like there's just a lot of stuff. The how clever it is. Like
Yeah, it
even
makes it all very plausible.
yeah, I mean it's a little far fetched, but like they try to make it as that part at least as grounded as you can of the
Mhm.
how and why.
I think
You know,
it's cool to see that scene at the beginning where we see Pete from Pete and Pete.
yeah, one of the brothers, yep. Big
That
Pete.
was I always liked that. I don't know if this
Kevin,
was
you're such a
before
disease.
I
Um,
I don't know if this was before or after Pete and Pete, but
I want to. I'm just guessing. I think it's a little before. I think he
it
looks
might,
just a
yeah.
smidge older by the time he's in
Okay.
Pete and Pete, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's also really clever, like the idea that the robbers he's posing as a cop,
Mhm.
pretending like, oh, we're just doing a neighborhood, safety check, because there's, whatever, and using that to one, just scope out a house from being inside,
Yeah.
but finding out when people are leaving,
Yeah,
knowing,
yeah.
okay, they have just automatic timers. So when these lights come on, don't worry about it. It's just that, and kind of learning, just what to expect. Okay, this one has a dog, this one doesn't.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you notice that technically, I noticed it on this most recent viewing, technically the McAllisters have a dog.
What?
Yeah. So, well, we see there's a dog door in the one back door, which that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean anything. Maybe that the previous owner had a dog. But when they first open and Kate, the mom, is on the phone and Kevin comes in interrupting her,
Mhm.
she says something like to whoever she's talking to, like, "Oh no, we're not taking the dog. We left him in a kettle." There's no
Oh.
other references to the dog, but apparently
Hmm.
they have a dog,
Okay. Well,
and I never noticed that before.
so then the dog is home with Kevin
No,
when the
no,
family's gone?
no. She said they left it in a kettle.
Oh, right, right.
Like,
Okay.
but she basically they're not taking it. Is that how you say
Gotcha.
kettle? Kettle? Kennel? Kettle?
Kennel. Yeah.
Kennel.
Yes, they left the
No, they
dog
left it in a
in the
kennel, she
kennel.
says.
Okay.
Kennel.
That
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
I guess I don't know if they did that line just to like kind of explain why there was a dog door. And no, I don't know.
Mhm.
I never thought anything really of that because I never noticed that line. But
Makes
yeah, I
sense. I
noticed
mean,
that on this
if
most.
you have a scene in the movie where the dog door becomes, crucial plot device,
Right.
then they're gonna have to explain that. So I'm sure it was written in and they discussed that in the writer's
Well,
room.
I mean, I just always assumed, okay, well, somebody who lived in this house before had a dog and had a dog door, and that
Huh.
was it. Like I never took it as anything more, but I don't know.
Well, not having that nice little throwaway line in there does kind of
Right, right.
provide explanation.
And it's just funny because like most movies now, if they're going to try to set up something for later, they make it more seen or heard about. Like it's just such throwaway lines that I don't know, I just
Yeah.
never thought anything, never picked up on it. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I think the Home Alone, just like a lot of movies, I think there are things you pick up on that you wouldn't pick up on as a kid, but
Oh,
watching it
definitely not. Yeah.
as an adult, you pick up on things. And also, even to take that a step further, sometimes there are things in movies that you pick up on that you don't pick up on watching them on TV. But then if they
Mhm.
have like a theatrical re-release and you go to the theater and see a movie that you've seen 100 times,
Yeah.
you will see things and pick up on things that you didn't pick up on before or notice before, just because of the fact that it's in the theater. Like I've had that happen to me
Okay.
before.
'Cause you're more invested in watching it,
Hmm.
like, you're not distracted, yeah.
It's undivided
Now
attention.
yeah, so I remember when the first time I watched this with my family, my dad did not care for specifically Kevin because he's such a little brat. Like, "Hang up the phone and make me, why don't you?" And then,
Ah,
"Get upstairs." "We are upstairs, dummy."
hmm,
Just
yeah,
like he thought that that was like just really,
out of
bad
line.
influence on kids, for
Hmm.
kids to have a kid talk to, which it is.
Yeah.
And I also remember him saying, which it's not, he's not wrong either, that it gave kids bad ideas with traps that could either hurt themselves or hurt someone else.
Right.
And I do
No,
feel
and
like I remember, well, God.
I was gonna say, I feel like you're talking about this. I feel like I remember something in the news, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I do remember back in the day hearing something about a kid who was trying to do a Home Alone-esque trap, and I can't remember if they got killed or if it just got
Oh
hurt. Something
goodness,
happened.
huh?
But I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He was, now I know it's supposed to be a story arc. I mean, because
Yeah.
Kevin is a little monster, and he's just a thorn in the side to his family, but then
Yeah.
they treat him, the brothers and sisters, like, they treat him like that because he is kind of a little brat. But
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the end, because he's truly convinced that in his head that he was able to wish his parents and family away.
Yeah.
It's the story arc at the end where he kind of gets a little bit of humble pie,
Yeah.
and then in the end he treasures them, and whatever, and supposedly, hopefully, until the second one, they're in better standing than previously.
Yeah.
But I
Exactly.
get the, the story arc there, but for a young audience, for kids, it's probably not the best example. But
Yeah.
how many
Well, yeah.
kids do you remember at the time? Whoops, I bumped my mic. How many kids at the time do you remember were, ah, and all that, like, just screaming all the time? I remember
Uh-huh.
me and my neighbor doing that all the time.
Yeah. I don't remember doing that much
No,
myself.
uh,
But the point that you bring up of Kevin being kind of like a thorn in everyone's side is a little
mhm.
ironic because
Don't you think?
Buzz
A
is
little
mean.
too ironic. Yes, he's a punk for sure.
Were you just singing?
Because you said ironic, I was
Oh.
making, yeah,
Oh.
being silly. Yes, Buzz is
Yeah,
a
like
jerk.
it's like despite how like everyone might think Kevin's being like, not a good uh role model for kids, but he's got an older brother in this movie that is so mean to him. And so
Mhm.
it kind of makes sense why Kevin is the way he is.
One of the things I also thought was interesting, when Kevin first realizes that he's home alone, he's imagining all the things that people have said. You're what the French call les incompetents.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're such a disease. There's
Yeah, yeah.
15 people in the house. Look what you did, you little jerk. But what's funny is, instead of just using the clips of where
They
they
redid it.
already
Yeah.
actually said it, they redid it and they emphasized them, like, being mean to him,
Hmm.
like, or whatever. Like, I thought, like, I never really thought of that much, but
Yeah.
I like that they, instead of just using the same,
I n-
shot, they
I
redid it.
noticed that as a kid. Like these
Yeah,
are different. These line deliveries are different.
yeah,
Especially "Look what you did, you little jerk," which was
yeah,
originally shouted, and then
yeah.
when he's thinking about it, it's almost like he's whispering.
Look what you
And
did, you little jerk.
also
But the only Buzz is like,
I was
I
gonna
don't,
say,
unless that was a deleted scene. I don't think he ever says, "Kevin, I'm going to feed you to my tarantula."
yeah, I that was something else I noticed as a kid. I'd be like, wow, I don't remember Buzz saying this, but there it is.
Yeah, it might, maybe they filmed it and it just didn't work, or they cut it, or
Yeah.
and I don't know. All right.
Anyway, yeah, so Buzz is mean, and that totally explains why Kevin is the way he is, possibly as a way of yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So the movie then is set up in, two places where we obviously most of the focus is on Kevin, obviously, but we keep
Mhm.
jumping over to the family. Now realizing what has happened, trying to figure out a way to get in contact with him and then get back to him. But from Kevin's point of view, he really believes that he was able to simply wish them away.
Mhm.
So it's kind of funny that, you from that point of view, you see where he's like the sink is full of dishes and like the ice cream thing like dripping all over the place. He climbed up Buzz's shelf and not trying to, but inadvertently he, has everything crashed down, but he's not worried about anything because from his point of view, they're not coming back. So I don't have to worry about like getting this fixed up, getting this cleaned up thing. No one's gonna come home to yell at me. So I can just do whatever.
Yeah,
It's just interesting.
I
I
agree.
don't know
And
how I would have survived. And now, granted, my house growing up was nothing like this. House is almost like a mini mansion.
yeah.
It's pretty nice big house. But
Yeah.
which I think it worked. You have to have the house big enough where once they break in, like something it can be believable that okay, well, this guy's in this room, he's upstairs with dealing with the other guy.
Mhm.
But the house I grew up in, Lincoln Park, was a relatively small house. But I don't know how I would have done at that age if I was to be left home alone for that period of time. Because I definitely didn't know how to like wash the clothes or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I remember even thinking like, man, I wonder how he knows how to do that. Because I certainly didn't.
Yeah, neither did I. Not especially not at 8 years old.
Yeah. Now, another thing I think was cool about this movie is they, the setting up of other things like, okay, Old Man Marley. We have this little slight side story about this supposed legend of this,
Yeah.
murderer. Again, kind of like the Burbs to a very small degree,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
there's these, kid myths about, and I talked about it, we had something like this around the street from me, but the way kids, and it's like it's so silly, like how he hid the bodies and they become zombies. That sounds like something a kid would make up, or the
Yeah.
way one kid tells a story and then somehow it morphs a little bit further and a little bit, and it's just ridiculous. But we have that extra story going on about Old Man Marley, and he's kind
Right.
of this other little villain to a degree that Kevin's afraid of, and like how that all pays off later. Like we actually develop that it's not just there to have something else for him to be afraid of. That develops into a little mini arc all its own, and it has a payoff, and that's just really cool.
Yeah, it's like a B
Yeah, the
storyline,
B
or like
story. Yeah, exactly.
maybe a C story, consider like depending on how you look at this movie.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess the A story is him defending the house. The B story is the family trying to get back to him. And I guess maybe we'll say the C story is the Old Man Marley
Yeah.
thing, and how we then learn what's going on with his family, and that whole thing. But I really like the way they did that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of funny. After the pizza guy arrives and everyone starts heading down to have pizza, Kevin runs down the stairs, and as soon as Kevin runs by, Harry looks down at the floor.
Does
So
he?
like, yeah, as soon as like all those people are running right by in front
Mm-hmm.
of him, he's looking at
Okay.
all of them. But when Kevin runs by, he looks down at the floor. So you see Kevin in front of him, but Kevin's not looking at him and Harry's not looking at Kevin. It was kind of an odd moment to me. Like that's where they
Huh.
first possibly could have, met, but they didn't. And
Whoa.
then eventually they did later after the
Oh,
pizza
hold on.
spill incident and all that.
See, I assumed Kevin would have had to have seen him because he has that gold tooth, and they do that thing where when he smiles, they like don't they even add
Well,
that little like
that's
ding?
that's after he gets in trouble and spills the milk and the pizza and all that, and then his mom takes him back upstairs.
Oh,
And
okay, yeah, because he
yeah,
does. Yeah, he does later see him because that's the whole thing
yeah,
when he almost
but
gets hit by them.
Yeah.
He realizes like, wait a minute, I saw this guy. That was a cop. Now he's not a cop.
You see Kevin run down going, "Pizza, pizza," and he's
Right.
flailing his arms, and he's not
Yes.
paying attention. He's not looking.
That's what I
And
do every day. Yeah.
soon as he runs by Harry,
Yeah.
Harry happens to look down at the floor.
Okay.
And
But
he
then
looks at the
when
floor,
she
and then
brings him back
yeah,
ultimately pays the pizza man, she briefly talks to him. And that's when,
that's where they make eye contact.
yeah.
with each
Okay.
other.
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Thought that was interesting. So yeah, and then that's the end of that night, and everything happens. The power goes out. They get running behind, and chaos ensues, and Kevin is left home alone the next morning.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to remember. Do they say how long he was home alone for? Like, how long was this whole
I don't know.
timeline?
I
Was it
think
a
they
full
mentioned
week?
I think they mentioned it in the sequel. Maybe.
Was it a week, or was it
I
like
don't
5
remember.
days or something? Um,
I just don't know.
so Kevin ultimately, once he's home alone, he runs around, he
Mm-hmm.
watches movies, he eats junk food, he sleds down the stairs, very dangerous. And just kind of lives it
Speaking
up.
of that, speaking of sliding down the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
so you remember my house growing up?
In the middle of your street,
And what? What?
our house in the middle.
Okay, yes,
Another dumb
song
reference.
So you remember my house growing up? There
I
was a
do. I do remember your house.
staircase
Mm-hmm.
that went right down, almost lined up with the front door.
Right, mostly to the closet, but if you could
Yeah.
steer it just right, you could go out the front door.
Something I totally always wanted to try, but like there would have been no way to avoid crashing into the coat closet, which was
Yeah.
directly in front of the
Right.
stairs, but
Mhm.
just right next to the front door.
Yeah.
If I had some way to steer, maybe I could have made it happen.
Yeah.
But it was
Well,
something
even
I
when you
always
look at
thought of.
even when you look at his house, the way it's set up, when they show it at the top of the stairs, you can see like it's not perfectly lined up with the
Oh yeah,
front
yeah.
door either. You would have to have some kind of maneuvering ability there.
Yeah.
to
You know
get.
what's
I mean,
funny is during the plane scene where they're trying to console his mom for realizing what happened on the
Mhm.
plane. Before that scene, everyone's getting the like their drinks and their food, and everyone's just settling into the plane.
Mhm.
There's a quote where he's one of the I don't know like
Uncle
the
Frank.
character's name. Uncle
I think you're
Frank.
talking about Uncle Frank.
He says
Put them in your purse. Yeah.
Put it in your purse, and put them in their purse. It's so funny because that is one of the many quotes from this movie that is something like my wife and I. That's
Mhm.
probably the top one. My wife and I quote to each other all the like if there's something we're out and about and we like something, we'll just randomly say put it in your purse. Put it in your purse. Put it in your purse.
Do you know what he was getting at or why he wanted her to do that?
Because it was nice silverware.
It was crystal. He
Yeah.
said it's real crystal. So yeah, that's another thing they established early on with him, Uncle Frank, that he's a cheapskate.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is when he gets the pizzas, and the pizza boy says, this is what you owe me. Oh, it's my brother's house. He'll take care of it. And then later, he says again, or someone says again, like I think the dad, how much the pizza is, and like his wife, Frank's wife, says, you have your checkbook, don't you, Frank? Traveler's check. And then you can see the mom, Kevin's mom says, "Don't worry, Frank, we have cash." Like he has a reputation for trying to always not pay, or like get a free
Dine and
ride.
dash.
Yes. Well, I don't know specifically about that, but basically he's a cheapskate who's trying to get everyone else to take care of and everything for him. So yeah, so when he sees what he says that was real crystal, he's telling her to put them in her purse. Like he's trying to steal stuff. He would be the guy to steal towels
It's pretty funny
at a hotel.
There's so many quotes from this movie that just live on, almost seem immortal. These quotes are so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra stuff going on there. Just like, like I remember the first time I noticed Buzz, when she's like, the sister's like, aren't you a little bit worried about Kevin? No, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. One, we have smoke detectors. B, we, live on a boring street. And D, like so instead of going 1, 2, 3, he goes 1, B, and then instead of going to C, he goes to D. He skips, it's like pick one. Are we numbering? Are we letter? It's
good stuff. Yeah, so he seems like, they're trying to depict the fact that Buzz is like a mean kid, but also not too bright.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's like I never took him as being stupid, but that except for that one scene, I think it's kind of supposed to be like he's kind of the dummy. But I never got that impression otherwise that he was dumb. But anyway.
So moving on, we have the scene where Kevin's mom is talking to the police over the phone.
Yeah.
And it seems to me
Hyper on two.
Those police officers are jerks and they're incompetent. Like they are not they're not taking anything she's saying.
Well, yeah, the woman's wrapping her gifts for her family at work. So she's, doing all that. And then the other guy, he's eating donuts and he's reading a magazine. So like he basically, both of them are kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But
they just don't really feel like they're doing their job correctly.
Well, they do send a cop over.
Yeah.
It was right after Kevin encounters old man Marley and comes out of the shadows. Which I'm thinking like, well, he doesn't say anything. He just stands there silently. So I mean, what kid wouldn't get afraid of that? But he runs back in the house.
It's terrifying.
And hide under the bed, and then like the cop shows up knocking on the door, which I guess Kevin assumes is old man Marley and never comes out. So to kind of explain that they did try this avenue, they tried to get a cop to go there. They also establish that all the other neighbors are visiting, going out of town or state or whatever too. So they can't call any of the surrounding neighbors, which also explains why Harry and Marv are having a field day on that street, robbing places.
Because he confirmed that everyone's going to be gone.
That everyone's going to be gone. But this house specifically, is the house to strike.
Yep,
it's the honeypot.
I will say that the scene where Kevin is climbing up the shelves on the wall, always just gives me so much anxiety because I know it's coming every time, and every time I watch it, it's still like, oh, I hate it. It's so much.
I saw an interview with Macaulay Culkin where they asked him about that, and apparently the person who did that was a stunt double who was only like an inch or so taller than Macaulay Culkin. He was, I think, 30-something years old at the time. I know they said his name was Larry. So he did the shelf scene, the sled scene, and the zip line scene to the treehouse, and probably a few others. But he said, like, Macaulay Culkin said how they had to do that take so many times because they wanted, the things to fall a certain way.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's, safe thing to do.
Yeah.
Keep the movie star from getting injured.
Well, especially a kid. I mean,
yeah. So moving on, we eventually see Kevin is watching a movie on TV, and it's Angels with Filthy Souls, which is obviously a fake movie.
So John Hughes, a lot of he didn't direct all his movies, so like some of them he wrote and directed. Some of them he wrote and someone else would direct, but often he was either a writer or the writer and producer, and sometimes he was the writer and director, and sometimes all three. But you'll see a thing where he does have certain actors he uses more than once. So the guy who is it Johnny, I think, right? John, because Snakes is the one who gets shot. Johnny is the one that pulls out the Tommy gun. That guy, I seen him later in the movie Curly Sue, which is a John Hughes movie, and I want to say he was also in Dutch. Don't quote me on that one for sure, but I'm pretty confident he was in Curly Sue. In fact, I just found a clip of that fake movie where you can watch it without Kevin's part. Like you're just watching it as a clip all its own.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's it's pretty funny that they did that for this, and then they did the sequel for the sequel.
Yeah. And do you remember at the beginning of the film, this movie, one of Kevin's grievances is that Uncle Frank won't let me watch the movie, but the big kids can. Why can't I? It's not even rated R. Remember, and if Uncle Frank
Yeah,
says no, it
yeah,
must be really bad.
yeah.
So he finally gets to watch this movie, which you see does scare him at first.
Hmm.
It's too much for him, but then later he uses this movie 2 more times
Yeah.
that we see to aid in some other, although I don't know why exactly he felt the need to do it with the pizza boy, but maybe just for fun. But
I was gonna say with the pizza delivery dude, I think that pizza delivery dude should probably have called the police, but he just ran off and nothing came of it.
well, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, I get realistically, but I also feel like
Yeah.
if this happened, the police probably wouldn't believe. Like, okay, like
Mm,
what? So,
yeah.
like someone's in there and shot up the place. Yeah, they might still have to go by. If again, I'm really overthinking it here. They would have to probably investigate, but
Yeah.
if they already, I can't remember if that's before or after they already got the call about somebody's home. The guy knocks on the door and nobody answers. And remember, he chalks it up to being kids pulling pranks.
Hmm.
So then if this pizza boy later says, hey, yeah, someone at this house was
Okay. Yeah.
shooting at it with a Tommy gun. Well, we already got a call about, so they probably just would assume it's more
Yeah, it's
shenanigans.
plausible. Yeah.
But
I
yes,
see
I
your
get
point.
what you're saying too. Like, yeah, if I thought that someone was shooting at me through a door, yeah, you'd probably want to report that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we see that happen, and then later he does the same thing again when the
With
the intruders come around.
Marv, yeah, he uses it specifically with Marv.
Yeah.
That's where they established the how did he get firecrackers? Well, when he was raiding Buzz's like
Hmm.
trunk,
No,
that was
that I
one of the
picked
things
up on.
inside.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
noticed.
thing of firecrackers, which that seems pretty dangerous to do that in the house. But then again, this movie's full of dangerous things to do. Period.
Seems like that would be dangerous.
Yeah, that's the part where he's I think washing the dishes. Or maybe he used it with the pizza guy as well. He has these 2 huge, remember those old speakers like that you would have hooked up to your sound system back in like the day before everything
Hmm.
got so small.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has the TV hooked up to it. And
Yeah.
I believe it's these speakers are sitting on the counter.
So it's
So
like maybe a early '90s version of surround sound, home surround sound.
I just took it as that he just hooked up the TV to the speakers, and which I guess also explains how they would be able to hear it so well
Oh.
because you know what I mean. Like regular TV
Mm,
volume probably wouldn't have been loud enough to really emphasize whatever. But
okay. Yeah. Yeah, and he like turned it all but like every time the other character would talk, he would like I don't remember if he like
he
muted it
would, I
or if he
well,
fast forward through it and
well, they do
paused
show
it.
he's fast forwarding to certain points to get
Yeah.
the
Okay.
what he wants to say, but I assume yeah he would also maybe uh implement the mute button as he needed to.
Okay, yeah.
They might even showed that. So Harry and Marv, they're breaking into other houses. They're stealing stuff. We find out that Marv has this thing about stopping up the drain and running the water, leaving his calling card.
The wet
Um,
bandits.
they're the wet bandits. And what's funny to me is that Harry thinks that's a sick thing to do to, basically flood someone's home, but he's okay with robbing a home, but whatevs, standards, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember the movie Bushwhacked?
I've heard of it. Never
It
seen it.
came out, if I was just to guess, I'm going to say 94 or 95. I never saw it myself, but it stars Daniel Stern.
Okay.
And I guess there's a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that it was originally supposed to be a spinoff of Home Alone. It was about Marv basically kind of trying to hide out, and he stumbles upon a campground and he poses as a camp counselor to kind of hide out from the authorities.
Oh, interesting.
That would have been kind of, yeah, that would have been kind of interesting. But
Yeah. And so later we're I'm skipping a little farther ahead
That's
here,
fine.
but so later we're at the airport and Kevin's mom's trying to get home, and interesting thing of note here, um we see an old couple that she's trying to like give them earrings and a watch, and they're in exchange for their plane ticket, their seat on the plane. And these two people are in another movie together, Dennis the Menace. So in Home Alone, he's credited as name his character's name is Edward Little. And in Dennis the Menace, he's simply known as Ed. Oh wait, no. Hold on. Ed is the character he plays in Home Alone.
Right.
And in Dennis the Menace, he's also called Edward. It's Edward Little, but
Okay.
Ed here and Ed there. And
Huh.
that is also the same actress playing his wife in both movies.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because, again, I notice a lot of Hughes movies, even the background characters, a lot of them will be the same actors sometimes, just stuck
Interesting.
somewhere in the background there.
Yeah, so they're in Dennis the Menace and they're in this movie together, both in each movie playing each other's spouse. And it's kind of funny to me. I thought I actually heard at some point that maybe they were a real life couple, but I don't know if
Okay.
that's true.
Yeah, that I don't know. I have definitely seen the woman in other things, but I can't off the
Well, she
top of my
was
head think
also
of.
in Ernest Saves Christmas.
Okay, maybe that's it.
She ran the I think, or she worked at like it must have been like the kids orphanage or whatever that was.
Oh, okay.
Moving on, we see John Candy and his group of fellow band members in the airport, and the John Candy scene is just so funny to me. Like the more he describes his band, the more you start to realize just how unpopular their band is.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I
because he
mean,
leads into the conversation being like, "You would know us.
yeah,
You know
we sold 600 copies of this one. Everything's, polka, you know, Midnight Polka, Kiss Me Polka, the Polka Blues, Hot
goes
Love
on
and
to
Polka.
say, I think he said that we sold 600 copies of like in this one town, and it was like a town you've never heard of in this
Sheboygan,
like
very big in Sheboygan.
like like 1974 or something like that, like which is like years before this. Like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
how
can't remember the
popular you
exact
are.
year. Now, have you ever heard the Elvis myth?
No.
So there's a point where she's at the airport and she's trying, I think it's this point, get the airport to, can I get on whatever flight to go wherever? And there's a man standing maybe 3 people behind her.
Okay.
And there's an urban legend because you know how some people think that Elvis faked his death or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a man standing maybe 3 or 4 people behind her that a lot of people think is Elvis playing an extra. And they think that it looks like what they assume Elvis might look like if he was alive at that
Oh,
point.
I'm looking at it
He's
right
clean
now.
shaved. He's clean shaved.
Well, no, he's got a beard in the
He
picture.
has a beard? Okay, my mistake. I knew he didn't have his signature sideburns that he had in the 70s.
Wow.
But yeah, it's like there's an urban myth about that being Elvis.
I kind of see it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm looking at it now. Since you mentioned it, I pulled it up real quick. Wow.
Yeah.
I see the resemblance.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so yeah, he meets is it Gus Polinski? Something like that? Polinski?
Yes.
John
Gus.
Candy's character.
Yeah.
Now,
And,
I know
yeah.
that Catherine O'Hara and John Candy weren't they were both in Second City together, I believe. So they already had worked
I
together.
wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah. So John Hughes, even though he was born in Michigan, I think Lansing specifically, he grew up in Chicago. So if you ever watch his movies, you'll notice the theme
Interesting.
is most people the story is either A, set in Chicago, or they're leaving Chicago, or they're going back to Chicago. And this one is no difference. They're in the Chicago area.
So Chicago is going to be somehow or another coming up in the plot of.
Well, that's where the McAllisters live. That's
No,
where
I
they're
mean like
trying.
of a John Hughes movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the Vacation series, they live in the Chicago area. Ferris
Yeah.
Bueller, they're in the Chicago area. Home Alone, Chicago.
Interesting. And
Remember,
I think I heard somewhere that this may or may not be true, but
it's
everyone
not.
always normally typically will say Chicago. But if you actually are a resident of
Uh-huh.
Chicago or you're from the area, people who live there, they actually pronounce it Chicago.
Oh,
Like
that's I don't know.
and I'm thinking of John Candy saying it now in my head. I feel like I hear him saying
Mm.
Chicago instead of Chicago.
Well, I know he was Canadian.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I
But
don't
anyway,
know. That's what I've heard
so
over the
yeah,
years.
so we got Kevin, kind of just going through the mundane, but at this point, I think he's starting to pick up that these guys are coming.
Mhm. Yeah.
He overhears that they're going to come back at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
They realize that everything that they've been seeing is just a kid able to fool them into thinking that the house is full of people, and they're going to come back. Which is funny to me that he doesn't just think at this point, okay, I gotta call the police.
Mhm.
You know, now I know, of course, you just wouldn't have a movie if you did that.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
like, if this were real, which is how I'm kind of looking at it, you think, okay, I got to call the police at this point. There's no way to, or there
Mhm.
shouldn't be a way to,
Yeah.
mess with this. But
I mean, it could have been nice to have like a plot device in there to say, "Hey, the phone lines are still down."
you
So,
know what? Actually, you might be right,
oh wait, maybe they did establish that.
because when he finally does call the cops, wait, no, he calls from his house. That's right. No, he does
Um,
call from
I
his
think
house.
didn't they establish phone lines are going to be down because of the power outage
Yeah, but
or
also
something?
he would have had to have a phone to call for order pizza.
Oh, that's right. Well, then I'm confused.
Yeah. No, because he calls the
Do the phones work or not?
well, yeah, you're right. He says that it would be a few days. So assumingly by that point the phones are fixed. He calls the cops from his house, but he gives them a different address
Yeah.
because his hope is to lead them out of his house into the other house, which he does,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where they ultimately get arrested at. But anyway, but yeah, it also makes you wonder why someone wasn't just almost continuously calling the house, the family members, trying to, like, okay, is it fixed yet? Trying, and
Yeah.
but whatever. Again, it's a movie.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So they're coming back at 9, and it's where he pulls out his big paper plan of defending the house, and it looks like it was scribbled by a kid, which is hilarious because it's like crayons and
Yeah.
like it's pretty funny. Some letters are backwards.
But before this is the scene where they show him walking down the street. He sees into other people's houses, they have family coming, and you start
Yeah.
to see that he's missing his family. He's
Mhm.
wishing they would be back. He's talking to the picture frame, like, so to speak, of, please come home, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes to the church where he has his encounter with old man Marley.
Oh yes.
And he finally speaks, and we not only learn that Marley is not the monster the kids on the street portray him as, but that he has a little bit of a dilemma with his own grown son and granddaughter and everything,
Yeah, we learn
which
all
will,
about that.
yeah. So Marley is going to kind of help Kevin in the 11th hour. Which, is funny. I'm thinking too, okay, where does Marley live? He lives somewhere on that street,
Does
because
he?
well, I assume he's shoveling the snow and salting the sidewalks, right? Or I would,
Maybe that's just his street and he just does that.
right. I was just thinking, like, okay, like, if all this is happening, does he not see this? And these guys are constantly like, I see this van, it pulls up to this house. They're unloading, or stuff from the house into this van, then they're going to this house over there. I don't know,
Right.
but whatever.
Well, he must live nearby because eventually he does see, assuming he sees what's happening and then comes to the rescue.
Right.
So yeah. We learn about old man Marley's situation, and then Kevin heads back home. Tries to have dinner.
Well,
with
yeah,
his
so
mac and cheese.
he gets his game plan together, and we have a montage scene now of some of the traps that are
Yeah.
going to be set while the tarantula, every few scenes, we see the tarantula where he's at. And, when the first time watch, you might just think, oh, it's a funny gag. Like, the one kid has a tarantula, it gets out. And every once in a while, it's just reminding you, hey, there's this tarantula running around the house somewhere. But ultimately, that tarantula itself gets used as a weapon,
Yeah.
which is a nice callback again to that.
I agree. It's something they set it up throughout the film in a subtle way.
Well, yeah, like I said, there's just a lot of stuff they did a really good job on setting up for later payoffs. But so finally, yeah, there's the big scene where they first come to the house and getting caught in a trap, and they can't walk out.
Oh, it's an Elvis reference.
They love me too much, baby.
I understood that reference.
Okay. So let's see. I was planning on writing down all the traps and whose they were, but I think what was the first one? Like Marv slide because he put water down the steps to the back porch, so it becomes ice. So
Yeah.
Marv like slides down those stairs. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then what was Harry's? Well, he has an encounter with the front porch steps being slick too. He falls down those a couple times.
Yeah, so
and then he burns his hand, I think.
It's the icy front steps first, and then we move on to the hot doorknob. And I've got a list.
But that's Marv's doing the other thing. Like he slides down the back steps because there's two things going on at once.
Oh, right.
Well, anyway, we see a lot of stuff, and they get worse and worse. Like Harry gets a flamethrower, or well, not a flamethrower. Well, it's basically acting like a flamethrower. The way
it's like a blowtorch.
Yeah, I mean the way it's going though, it's to the head. Marv has the nail to the foot and the iron to the face.
The plastic wrap on the face with and then
the feathers, yeah, that was always the one I thought, like, what's going on in that one? Like, yeah, that of all,
because you see, like he puts the pencil in the fan and attaches a string so that when he opens the door, it pulls the pencil
like the
out.
saran wrap or whatever he like must have some. I think they show him putting like glue on it.
Yeah.
So like it puts glue on his face.
Yeah, I mean all the traps are great, but I think it's funny, like the danger in some of these traps.
Well, the paint cans to the face, that was a pretty bad one.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Which one do you think looks the most painful or the
okay, so I categorize them a little bit in different ways. So like the trap that the trap that makes me like shiver the most is where Marv is climbing through the window, and he's barefoot by now, and
the ornaments,
stepping on bulbs and ornaments, and you just hear each one kind of pop and shatter underneath his toes, and then he's like he has to walk through it, and it just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the nail to the foot looks,
that's really
that
bad.
one gets me. And then also, not only that, then he falls backwards on his back from like, I don't know, like 10 steps up to a hard concrete floor. That looks bad.
It would
obviously the flamethrower to the head is bad. But even the one when Harry's walking up the icy steps and he just like, it looks like someone like almost like someone had a leash on him and they just yank him back. The way he falls backwards, I never understood what was causing him to fall like that.
Yeah,
but
and
the way he hits like that looks bad.
Crowbar falls on top of him, like when it's from the window.
Yeah,
the crowbar. It's probably a cast iron crowbar.
Yeah,
and it just falls right down onto his head.
Yeah,
like
the iron to the face that looks bad.
Yes,
to me. Now, I do think it's weird. Like he would then exit, like for Marv, he decides to exit the house without taking his shoes. Like I would think, why would you go? Like at the very least, grab your shoes and try to get them at where they couldn't have been stuck that much to that he couldn't have pulled them off. But whatevs. Now I know that Daniel Stern was wearing like rubber feet for like walking out in the snow.
Okay. I didn't know that.
But I thought I heard because I can't remember what they called it, not sugar glass, but there was some kind of type of the ornaments, the fake bulbs. They were made of something that was supposed to be, I guess, not as bad, but I thought I heard that he insisted on doing that scene with actual bare feet.
Oh my god.
But from what I understand, you could still potentially like hurt yourself. Like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think the paint cans are pretty bad.
Yeah.
But like
the micro
iron
machines are probably
well, yeah,
the
that
least.
fall. Yeah, the fall from
The
it. Yeah.
fall is bad, but the micro machines was like, really? Micro machines? I mean, I guess I could see it, but they just feels like those micro machines would break before anything else.
Yeah, I don't know.
With the weight of a full adult human on top of them.
Let's see. Yeah, and then Harry burns his hand on the doorknob, which that could I would think that would set the house on fire eventually. Like the doorknob getting so hot,
yeah, for sure.
The frame of the door, the door itself. But so Kevin is able to keep them at bay with his traps.
Yeah,
but at the very end, who catches him? Marv.
Yeah,
Marv catches him,
grabs his foot.
Yeah, and is able to hold him. But I think what happens is Harry tripped over the tripwire. I think, right?
Yeah,
and he kind of went down. That for some reason that one took him down more, and it kept him down. I guess all the stuff's adding up. And Harry, wow, I'm getting them mixed up. Marv grabs him, and this is the scene with the tarantula to the face. And I learned that Daniel Stern said he would do it the one time, but the guy who, I don't know what you call it, the expert, the animal guy, told him, don't scream, don't make any noise, because that could freak it out and it might then really bite you. So he's actually miming there. He's actually pretending he's just opening his mouth and fake screaming, and then they would ADR'd it later.
Okay.
But he agreed to do that one time, which I don't think I would want something like that on my face, man. Like, I'm not afraid of spiders like that. I don't want something on my face like that, especially that size.
Yeah, that's a no-go for me.
Yeah.
It's a no from me, dog.
Yeah. So then, this is the part where he gets away with that. He zip lines across from the house to the tree house.
Yeah.
And then he cuts the rope and heads to the next house.
It's so funny when they're on the line and he cuts it and he's like, go back. Well, and they start trying to climb back, but it doesn't actually make any sense because they would have just hit the ground.
Well, that's the thing too, is
all the way back to the house.
Yeah, when you look at that scene, it's like sometimes they look not that high up.
Yeah.
And then some scenes, like, they look really high up. Like, I don't know. It's like weird. So almost like, because at one point when they showed them suspended from it, it looks like the weight of the two of them with that much rope, that it's like almost like they're hanging, like it's causing them they're pulling it down so far. It just doesn't look like they're that far off the ground. But of course, when they cut it, they got to make it look like it's, a mile high.
Yeah, like there's stories up.
Right. And then when they cut it, I think they were, because they were like pretty much in the middle or almost to the middle, right? So I feel like they would just hit the ground. But of course, it's more satisfying to see them hit the wall of the house, the brick of the house.
Be funny though, yeah, I get the comedic value of slamming into the house like that.
Yeah,
but it would also be kind of funny if they just like had a wide shot where you see the ground and them on the wire above the ground. You see the wire lose tension and you just see them like drop to the ground like 10 feet or whatever is off the ground that they are, 20 feet. Like they would get hurt really bad and they would just like, it would just be kind of a funny thing where you just see them hit the ground and then like they start like trying to get back on their feet to keep chasing Kevin miraculously with no injuries.
Yeah, I mean,
really
I guess
hurt.
Another thing is if this were really happening, each injury that they've sustained would cause them to you're hitting them while they're down. Like, so the next
Yeah.
trap is maybe going to have more effect on them because they're still struggling with the last one.
Hmm.
Um, but you would think they would just give up, but I guess it's mostly I think Harry that pushes to keep going. I guess his anger, his pride, I don't know,
Hmm. Yeah.
to push forward. Where I think Marv says a few times like, "Let's go, let's just
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever." But yeah, so he goes to the next house. Kevin goes through like the cellar. We see the flooding. Go up the stairs. I think it's funny. It's a little continuity mistake. It's not a big deal, but we know it's the sink from the kitchen that's supposed to be overflowing, which is now going to
Yeah.
the basement. But they show when Kevin gets to the top of the stairs and Harry and Marv are waiting for him, you now see no water running over from the kitchen or on the
Oh,
floor. Like, in fact, the
interesting.
floor looks dry, but no big
I
deal.
didn't notice that. That's a good catch.
Yeah, so they finally got him. They, hang him to the door there, and they say that they're going to do to him everything. Do to him everything that he did to them.
Yeah.
But Harry decides he's also going to bite off every finger as just an
Oh.
added bonus. And one thing I did hear is that Macaulay Culkin said when he basically had his finger in Joe Pesci's mouth, and I can't remember it's when if like the fake shovel to the face or the back of the head, something caused his teeth to go down a little harder than he meant to. And he says there's a mark on him, like a scar or something. I thought I heard that.
Yeah. I just watched an interview with Macaulay Culkin. I think it was on the Jimmy Kimmel show recently,
Mhm.
and he was talking about this very thing. And he said he's got a Joe Pesci scar on his finger, and
Yeah.
he can set he says he can still see it, but they didn't like show it on the camera, so I'm
Yeah.
sure it's really, really hard to see it. And you can probably he's probably the only one that knows where that particular is at this point. But
Yeah.
it's it's um it's pretty interesting that he's got a he's got a scar on his finger from that scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, old man Marley comes to save the day and
Saves the day.
gets him off that hook. And I don't
He's
know
off the hook.
if he gets him off the hook.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't know if how they like strung Macaulay Culkin up like that. I'm assuming they didn't just have him dangling by his shirt.
No, I'm sure there was something to.
Some kind of harness or something.
Yeah.
But so he gets carried away, and I think it's after this scene where you see the van with John Candy and his band, and they're playing music with Kevin's mom in there with him.
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah.
Well,
So
I
you
don't know
see
the
that.
exact ordering, but yeah, at some point we cut to Catherine O'Hara in the back of the like a Ryder truck or something, or
Yeah.
U-Haul truck or something.
And it's
With
really
the
it's really funny to me just how like how unsafe it looks in the back of that
yeah,
van.
yeah,
Like, it's such a
dude,
safe way to travel in the back of a moving van, unbuckled, with everyone playing instruments. Like, can you
yeah.
imagine if something
But
happened, like instruments go flying everywhere, no
yeah,
one's buckled? It's just crazy.
I remember when we had a pickup truck, and I remember riding in the back of the pickup truck, the bed of the pickup truck. But here's nothing too. Think about this: people that have like an RV or a Winnebago,
Yeah.
yes, the driver's seat belted, but people in the back, there's like a couch back there or there's a bed back there. They're not buckled.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just funny
That's
how
true.
that it works.
Yeah. No one buckles up in school buses.
Yeah, it's exactly school buses. Yeah.
Typically, anyway.
But what's funny, you get
So
pulled over for not having your seatbelt otherwise. But yeah, all these other things. Yeah.
yeah. So they're heading on down the road, and John Candy's telling that story about the funeral home. Was that in this scene, or was that earlier in the airport?
No, I think it's at this point now. I thought I heard that some of this was improvised. Um,
I would
I
not be surprised, because John Candy did that. He would
yeah.
improvise things.
I'm
And
not saying maybe all of it. They might have given him like a rough idea, but like, yeah,
there was a funny part where he started off like John Candy. He did this earlier where he said something to make it sound one way, but when he went into detail, it completely kind of undid the initial thing he said about how
About the
popular the
kid
band
being all
was.
right.
So
What?
he says, yeah, the kid was all right. Yeah, after 6-7 weeks,
He started
and
talking again. Yeah.
started talking. So what you're saying is he was not all right.
Yeah.
It's so
Until
funny.
he was all right.
Yeah, that was very funny to me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Kevin's mom gets home, and we have the house is all nice looking, and
That's amazing. He got the house cleaned up, except he missed that gold tooth. But yeah,
it's funny to me that the family, the parents, no one knows anything happened there
right.
with the burglars.
So we have kind of the closing of that storyline where Kevin has now, like I said, is a little bit nicer, and values
Yeah,
his family.
yeah,
We get to see that old man Marley was able to bury the hatchet with his son. He
yeah.
gets to have his
And
son and his daughter-in-law and the granddaughter home for Christmas.
this is another one of those things where I feel like I care more about that whole thing about old man Marley reuniting with his family at the end of the movie. I care about
Mhm,
that more now than I
mhm.
ever did as a kid. Like that was
Yeah,
something I would watch as a kid, and I just like I would not be paying attention. But like
uh-huh.
now, it's just like okay, I see the value in this being part of the movie as an
'Cause we're
adult.
old.
Yes, we're old.
Yeah,
So it's interesting to me as a parent now. I have an 8-year-old in the second
uh-huh.
grade. And so it's funny to me thinking about Kevin in this situation, being home alone and fending off burglars and setting up all these traps with all these dangerous items. And
Yeah,
like watching that now makes me sort of think of what if my son was in this same situation, being in the same age group. Like,
mhm.
wow, it's just what a thought. Like, it's
Yeah,
crazy. Just
yeah,
another aspect of watching this movie now as an adult with kids is so different than when I watched it as a kid.
yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Benji's now, 10, so he's a little older, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember, yeah, when he was, 8, like, yeah, the thought of him, being home alone at a like, I've gotten so soft, after having a kid, worrying about stuff. Um
Also, it's funny to me that he's 8. The Kevin is supposed to be 8, but
mm,
uh he was actually 9 when he filmed the movie.
okay. Yeah, and I know, what's funny is so this came out in 90.
Yeah.
Now, didn't Home Alone 2 come out in 92, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't remember. I believe it did 92.
Okay. And so, yeah, it came out 92, but they say that the events of this film was last year,
Yes,
but
I
they
I
also
noticed that.
state that he's 10.
I watched yes, I watched the
Yeah.
sequel recently as well, and
Yeah.
I noticed these inconsistencies. So they
Right.
say it's supposed to be just 1 year later,
But
and
he's
he gets
10.
lost
He's
in
2
New
years
York,
older.
and
Yeah. He's,
he's 2 years older 1 year later.
yeah. Yeah.
Somehow
To
he
me, it would probably would have made more sense to have it be actually 2 years.
I agree.
Uh, you know, like a little bit of time to get back to like a normal, normal life, but that's not
Yeah.
that's another time, another story. So yeah, let's see. The wet bandits are arrested. The cops remark that we know each and every house you hit, casino calling card, and
That's funny.
yeah.
Thanks, Marv. Thanks,
Then
Marv, for
you have that last scene where I think it's supposed to be Buzz, right? He's like, Kevin, what'd you do to my room?
yeah, yeah.
So apparently Kevin cleaned up everything except Buzz's room.
Yep.
Um,
Well, I mean, that thing was a massive mess of
oh, for
broken
sure.
wood and just that was insane. That I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yes.
what would you grade this film?
Well, let's see. I might have to get it. I might have to give it um either a 1, a B, or a D. I kid. I don't know. Really, it's hard for me to think of like anything to take away from like my gut instinct is to give it like a perfect score. Like this movie is so good.
Oh yeah.
I can't
I,
think of anything as in the way of like flaws or like I don't know. I just can't think
yeah.
of any reason why I shouldn't give this thing an A plus.
No, I agree. I was gonna say an A. There's the nostalgia factor, of course, because I
Yeah,
watched this and as a kid, but I think it's more than that. I think it's just a fun movie. It's a clever movie. It
yeah.
has more going on than maybe some people realize or give it credit for.
Well, definitely.
More better
There's
written
more.
than you just think, okay, kid's home alone, he sets traps for a burglar, whatever, blah blah blah. There's a lot of stuff going on that to help better explain, well, why didn't they just do this? Why didn't that happen? Like they thought of these little like plot holes. Like, how are we gonna explain this? Okay, we'll show this happens, or we'll show that in the background, or whatever. I liked that. It's
Yeah,
just, yeah, a lot more going for it than maybe some people realize. I think for most people, it's just a fun classic, whatever. But
I agree. I agree.
so yeah, I'll give it an A.
And I will admit that I like this movie now more than I
Mhm.
did when I was younger. It just seems
Yeah,
to get better with age.
yeah.
So,
No, I agree. So I made a little quiz for you.
okay.
The
Really?
Home Alone quiz. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Now I think these are actually pretty hard, and I'm not gonna say I knew most of these. Some of them, this would I wish we had almost someone else, so like I could, two people I could be asking. But if anyone's actually listening, you can kind of play along. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, so let's see what you know
All
about
right.
Home Alone. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Make
What
it
is
so.
what is Kevin's home address? It is stated in the movie.
1809? No. Wait. What am I thinking? That's something from a completely different movie, I think.
Mhm.
Um
I'll admit these are hard, but like,
No,
and I wouldn't know this, but
I
it is
remember
stated
this
in the film.
being I remember this being said.
Hmm.
It's right there on the tip of my tongue inside my brain. Um
No cheating.
I'm not looking it up. I'm just trying to
I,
remember.
I know I'm just messing around.
Uh I don't know. Like I don't know why I don't know. What is it?
Okay. The address is 671 Lincoln Boulevard.
Uh cool.
Okay. Where is Kevin's family going to visit?
France.
Okay. Yeah. Paris, France.
Yeah.
How old is Kevin in the film?
8.
Very good.
He says that. And he told old man Marley that he's in
Yeah.
2nd grade.
Yeah. What does it say on the side of Harry and Marv's van?
Is it like a cleaning service?
Not exactly. No.
Carpet cleaning. I don't remember.
Okay. This is kind of that clever writing. Okay. So it says, you give up, first of all?
Yeah.
Okay. It says, okay, plumbing and heating. Okay.
Okay.
On one side, so it has two different, so under okay, plumbing and heating, says something different on each side. One side says, your flood control experts. And the other side, under the okay plumbing, it says, residential work is our specialty.
The wet
That's funny to
bandits.
me. Yeah, because they do the
They're
whole
the
thing
wet
with the
bandits.
plumbing,
Yeah. That's funny.
flood control, ha ha ha,
Yeah.
and then residential work because they, the whole thing is they rob residents. The
Yes.
whole thing is they case the residential areas.
That's amazing.
Okay,
That's very funny.
yeah. What Christmas movie is on TV when Kevin first wakes up after being left home alone? It's a classic Christmas film.
It's the one with Jimmy Stewart. It's a wonderful life, right?
No,
No?
not when he first wakes up. It is Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh,
which is also funny because later John Hughes did the Miracle on 34th Street remake in 94.
Isn't It's a Wonderful Life eventually showing in this movie somewhere?
I'm not telling you.
Okay.
Where does Kevin order his pizza from? What's the name of the place?
Little Nero's.
There you go.
I knew that.
All right. What year does Buzz claim that Old Man Marley killed his family?
I don't know.
1958.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
Okay. How many times does the statue in the front of Kevin's house get knocked over?
I'm going to say 3 times.
It's shown to happen 4 times, or
Oh.
you see someone picking it up, implying
Okay.
that it got knocked over. So 4 times is what I
Okay.
counted.
Eh.
How many pizzas did the family order, and how much did it cost?
How
about
$122.50 is the price, right?
Very good. Plus tip. Yeah, very good.
$122.50.
Yeah. Very good.
Is it 10 pizzas?
Well done. Yes. 10 pizzas at $12, $122.50 plus tip. Very good.
Okay.
Okay. What city is Kate in when she meets Gus Polinski?
It's Scranton.
Well done, Dave. Well done.
I remember. And I only remembered that because I liked The Office, which is in Scranton. And I never paid attention to it.
No, same here. It stuck out to me more because of The Office. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until we were,
Where did Uncle Frank and his family drive in from?
The airport.
I mean, I'm sorry. What state? Where did they come from?
I misunderstood the question. Say it again.
Where did Uncle Frank and his family drive in from?
I don't know.
So it's Ohio. They come from Ohio.
Okay.
All right.
Was that the quiz? Anything
Nope.
else?
A couple more.
Okay.
What movie is Kevin's family watching while in France?
Is it The Wonderful Life? That's what I was thinking of.
It's A Wonderful Life, yes.
It's dubbed
but in French. It's French subtitle. Yeah, but very good. All right, this is the last one. How many family members are in Kevin's house at the beginning of the film?
There are 15 people in that house.
Yeah. 5 boys, 6 girls, and 4 parents. Very good, Dave. Very impressed.
Kevin's the only one that has to make trouble.
That's right. But yeah, a great movie. It's funny. I think this movie, your kids can watch it for the most part. Families can watch it. You can watch it. It's a good movie. It's fun.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
A+.
Yes. Well, that's about it for this one. We appreciate you listening. Just to remind you, we have a Linktree set up. So that's linktree.com/TEP16. You can find whatever directory you prefer. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, a few others. Our Facebook and Instagram links are there, obviously, and you can find the email address there. We would appreciate it if you want to give us a like, a subscribe, share us with a friend. That would be awesome.
Smash that like button.
Yeah.
As they say.
That's what the cool kids say.
Yes.
But we're not cool.
Nope, we're not.
So we don't say it. But anyway, thanks again. God bless you. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will catch you next time.
Catch you on the flip side of whatever we're currently on. I don't know.
You're a poet.
And I didn't even realize it.
Bye.
See ya.
I said, what does God need with a starship?
It's like adjacent to the paper family, what we're doing here. And I thought I can do something with that. So I made sure to write it down so I wouldn't forget. Let's see. Oh, easy. Whoa. Wow. Slamming stuff around. Oh my goodness. I'm slamming and stomping around. Whoa. Wow. Oh, did you hurt yourself?
Hello.
Hi. You're back.
I am back.